Coming in hot, 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 Lisa shares her financial tips and strategies to build wealth, have fun with finances, and be debt-free without having a restrictive budget. From bankrupt to millionaire, Lisa knows what it's like to feel as if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Her unconventional money multiplier system is the very wealth protocol that enabled her to retire 2.5 years early, pay down $100,000 of debt in 6 months, and move to her dream home at the beach. Okay, and we're live. Welcome to this special episode of I Date Money, Money Talks. I have a wonderful visionary panel of sales experts. Woo-hoo-hoo! Who does not want to know more about sales? So for the next 60 minutes, we are going to be digging deep into the brains of these sales professionals who have rocked the world in getting sales, being the top of their industry, and sharing all of their sales secrets. So come in and join. And if you're watching this on the replay, show it, give us some comments, show us some love, and be sure to share this episode with everyone you know that needs some sales talk in their lives. So welcome, everyone. We're going to start off. We're going to introduce you all. So I'm just going to start on my top left, which is Danielle. So Danielle, please introduce yourselves. Tell us what you do.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, Lisa. I just want to congratulate you. I love what you do, helping women build wealth and just break down the stigma to sales is wonderful. And we need more people like you. My name is Danielle Brazant. I am a speaker, writer, and presenter, and a leadership expert. I just travel the country, and now I just found out this Monday that I have to go to England right after Thanksgiving. I got the exciting news at an Anglican Catholic Church conference. The theme is inspiration in difficult times, and they reached out to me and say, we want you to just give our opening day keynote and midday. So the conference is 3 days. I can only be there for 2 because I got busy schedules. So I'll be doing the opening day keynote and just the second day workshop. So I'm very excited. Very awesome. Excited about that. And it's fully paid, and they're paying for my travel as well. So I'm humbled and excited. So this year, since we've come back, the country and the world has come back from the pandemic, I have seen my business that I started in 2020 just really take off as conferences and just workshops and webinars and have all started to come back. And there's a demand for speaking and people that can speak. And I've seen my business take off this year. I still, like you and I talked on your podcast, I am not ready to go full in. I could with what I make, but I'm not ready to do it because just too many variables. There may be a recession and all that. So I'm not ready to fully go into full-time speaking and in business for myself. So I still have a day job in sales, and I am the top salesperson in the company. And sales has really been the heart of my life. A sales position was how I came back from my traumatic brain injury and was able to get on my feet again. Sales is powerful, and it all starts with believing in yourself. And I'm just going to stop talking right now to give people a chance.
Thank you, Danielle. I love that. Okay, Debra, you're next.
Yes, so I'm Debra Wood, and I'm from Texas. And when we start talking about sales, I have done that since a very young age. I've been a teacher, trainer, coach from very young. I tease, my mother kept children when we were little, and she's like, you were always the boss. You were always the teacher. You were always trying to get the next thing. So it started young. So I presently, though, am involved in several businesses and working on the business 4 right now. And I agree with Danielle that, the very heart of what you do, if you don't have a love for sales, bringing people into your pipeline, passionate about what you're doing, then the next piece of the puzzle in entrepreneurship gets more difficult ever before. So thank you for having me today. I'm excited to visit with these ladies and share what I've done over the last 30 years.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to hear more about what your personal experiences are. Denise, you're up.
Hi, I'm Denise Perkins. I am in the Seattle area, and I am a selling and marketing coach. I come from a background of selling, as we all do, and but kind of kicking and screaming. I didn't realize I had been in sales pretty much my whole entire career until I landed with real estate, and I was a realtor for 12 years and loved it. And I started in PR, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do communications, everything. And and looking back, you're like, okay, guess what? That sells. So it's kind of funny how my journey, but I was, like, no, anti-sales. And then when I realized that for me, selling is connecting and building relationships and nurturing relationships. And when you're passionate about what you do, it doesn't have to be like selling at all. And you believe in what you're selling. It doesn't have to be salesy or like selling at all. So I, after 12 years of being in real estate and previously an entrepreneur, my own marketing business, I decided to coach. And so I've been coaching realtors for the past almost 3 years. And also I coach female entrepreneurs, and I'm currently helping them to basically master their day so that they can take their business to the next level. Because I find when we're such passionate entrepreneurs, and we love our business, that we get all in and we get really excited about all the things. And when we kind of, dial it down and simplify it, we can really excel and take our business to the next level, because we're focusing on our clients and our people and what we're doing in our day-to-day, and making sure that our return on investment is focused on what's actually going to grow our business. So I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much, Lisa, for inviting me, and very excited to get to know Danielle and Debra and hear what we all have to say and contribute to this amazing topic. It's also my mission to take the yuck out of selling, because everyone, I can't even use selling in any of my marketing, because honestly, people are like, oh my God, what? I don't want to sell. And I just think that's like hilarious, because if you really dig down deep into it, it's just about connecting. So, and which is my favorite thing to do. So
I love that. And all these thoughts are going through my head, because it's like sales is sleazy, and no, I don't want to put myself out there. And, it took me a long time to realize that sales is serving, and what you have to offer. If you don't share it, shame on you. And so many of those listening, my audience, especially those and my clients, especially those that are beginning to launch, or relaunch their businesses because they weren't 100% confident in what they were offering. I see that as a huge money blocker. Like, if I can't sell my offer because I don't believe in it, and I'll hear, oh, I don't have any money blocks. Well, then why aren't you selling your offer? Like, what's really going on with that? So can you describe your sales process from prospecting to closing a deal? And we'll reverse it. We'll start with you.
Me, Denise?
Yes.
Okay. So, honestly, prospecting to me is, not really a part of a word that I would use, because what I'm trying to do is to create an experience for my client, so that it's an automatic take my money, right? Like, I'm really in tune with what my client needs, and I'm creating an experience for them to come in. So it's a lot about prospecting would be, making phone calls and nurturing and developing relationships, and making sure that I know what that product is that they're going to be receiving from me. So, selling process is making sure that we're showing up, we're having a really solid plan in our week, so that we can, be connecting with our clients, and then showing up in value, showing up in service, and being there when they need us in that process. So, that's kind of a short version of a lot of things. But simplifying it, and that, how am I showing up in value, I guess, would be, my answer to that.
Thank you so much. How about you, Danielle? Can you describe your sales process from prospecting to closing a deal?
Yes. And I think it all comes back to, I heard Debra mention this, and I want to give her kudos. It does come back to believing, truly believing in what you're selling. Because if you truly believe in what you're selling, as I do, as I always have, you're just going to want to share it. You can't keep it to yourself. That's just human nature. And most people who are oriented towards this industry, toward sales, I would say not all of them, but most are typically outgoing. They're just people who like to talk, talkers, and they won't be able to contain it. They're going to just want to share because they know how it can help people. So that's how it starts, really. The prospecting starts with being so excited about something, you're just going to tell everybody you know. And from that, you have to believe in the product, but also be knowledgeable about it so you can answer the questions that will follow, because you're going to want to share this, and then people are going to ask you questions. Okay, what does it do? How much does it cost? Is it a contract? What do you do? And this, that, and the other. So you have to be able to knowledgeably and honestly answer the questions that follow from your prospecting. But it starts with believing in the product and being excited about it, and just not being able to contain it. You're going to want to just share it, and you can't keep a good thing to yourself. Nothing good is ever kept a secret.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Debra, how about you? Can you describe your sales process from prospecting to closing a deal?
Yeah, when you first asked that question, at least I was like, oh goodness, now really I've got 3 businesses in this building. Now what, let's see, how do it, you know, my mind was just spinning, like we all don't have enough time. But you know, we really, first of all, to Denise and Danielle, great answers. But when I think about really my buyer's journey from prospecting to all the way to, you know, I talk about fortune in the follow-up. You've got to have a process for every, you know, little step of the way. You know, really compare it to, I like to say it's just like farming. And, you know, when you farm, you know, you can decide to plant one little seed or toss it into the wind and hope that it grows. But, you know, a true farmer will put a seed in the ground, and they'll cultivate the dirt before they do that. They'll get it ready. They'll put the seed in, then they'll water, and they'll pray for rain. And the list goes on and on and on what the farmer has to do. So when you talk about from the beginning to the end, that process to me starts at the very beginning. And I don't know who said it, but it starts with a relationship. And you never know where that relationship is going to go. I talk about selling and sharing and whatever word we want to use today, you know, almost like I compare it to tell my girls that I coach. I say, you know, if you've got a good book or a new shampoo or a good movie or something, you can't wait to tell people about it. Like 24/7, you're picking up the phone and saying, go grab it before it goes away.
Exactly.
And so when you do that, when you start that process of really, one of y'all said it, sharing, being passionate about what you do and sharing, planting that seed. And then, of course, it all goes, you know, that I'm a big person in that process of following up. I'm a fast-paced person. And, you know, the people who do business with me, they're the one that serve me. Lisa, you said it. Selling is serving. Yeah. And I've got one girl that she will not let me run out of my morning shake. I mean, she places the order for me. I don't know if she does it for everybody else, but she does it for me. And I'm never running out because she's calling saying, you want chocolate? You want strawberry? You want vanilla? I got you. She got my credit card on file. She's serving me at a high level. And so when you talk about that from beginning to end, you know, we can take it a myriad of different ways today. But for me, it's planting that seed. It's not expecting that seed to burst and me to get that sale. You know, again, now we all are coaches. And when we coach, you know, like some people want to post one time or email one time and they're like, it didn't work. How many times did you do it? And they're like, once. I'm going, well, we got to do it a few more times. I'm just saying, you know. And so just cultivating that relationship wherever it lands until sometimes, I mean, you get to the end. Sometimes it's a no, not for now, but it's just having that process along the way to say, you're my people, you're on my list, and I'm going to cultivate that and serve you. I love that, Lisa, serve you until we get to whatever desired outcome we're coming to.
I love that.
I love that analogy, that farming analogy too. And that I mean, yeah, it's so good.
It was, it's such a beautiful picture came in my mind as you were speaking. And you know, like planting seeds, you know, because I tell my husband that all the time. He's like, oh, you were on calls all day. Did you make any sales? I'm like, I'm planting seeds.
And you never know, Lisa, that brings to mind for me, you never know where that next big plant's going to come from, where that next, in the least of ways.
Mhm.
I don't have I've got a short story on a trade show one time that this little couple came up to me and I thought, there is no way they're going to purchase what I've got in this booth. I had prejudged them but from long down the trade show aisle. And it was when I was first starting business, my very first one. And, I remember them. They were a little couple from Tennessee. And I probably, as bad as I hate to admit this today, total transparency, probably wasn't going to spend a lot of time on them because I thought they're not buying from me today. And I'm telling you, on that trade show many years ago, probably 30 years ago, they got the checkbook out. They wrote me a $1,500, said, here, we're going to pay for our order before it ever ships. It's the way we do business. And they were the biggest blessing to me. And so for that, you never know where that seed is going to take.
Yeah. And I always love referrals. Those are my best friend.
I was going to say part of that whole process. And when you're talking about cultivating that, building those relationships is creating those raving fans, right?
Yeah.
Like we're following up and we're checking in. And you never know where that business is going to come from. Is that follow through is so huge, and checking in with former clients or clients that might need you again, right? You just never know.
You never know.
Yeah. As an independent insurance broker, I get a lot of referrals, especially for Medicare. And I'm like, yes, thank you so much. I love you all. It's the best compliment one can possibly receive.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. So next question, we'll go with Debra this time again. What do you believe are the most critical qualities or traits for a successful salesperson?
I can't wait for this one.
Most successful. It comes to me, Lisa, the first thing I think about is be you. Be you. You said it. There are people out there wanting what we have, but we may not be able to serve everyone. It reminds me of, I'm a member of the John Maxwell team, and I'll never forget the first time I landed there, and he was teaching a mastermind, and I was supposed to be offering the same mastermind. And I thought, nobody's going to listen to me. Who's going to buy from me if the man himself is offering the course? And one of my mentors looked at me and said, you know what? There's some people that aren't going to resonate with a 70-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to resonate with a girl from Texas who's going to keep their energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that spoke to me so highly. And so to me, one of the most important traits you can have is be you. There's a list of them. I'm a firm believer in keeping my word, being honest, do what I say I'm going to do. And the list goes on and on. But the most important one to me is be yourself. Be you. Be true to you and be true to your customers.
I love that. Thank you. Danielle, how about you? What do you believe are the most critical qualities?
I'm containing myself for this one, and this will make or break any salesperson. And it does not come back to the qualities that are most often talked about. Really, what sales comes down to is self-confidence. You have to have that self-confidence. You can't have any insecurities, because that will cause you to struggle in sales. Like, customers will see right through that doubt, that insecurity. You have to get rid of all that if you're going to go into a sales industry. And it starts with, I say this and on one of my platforms, sales starts with making the most important sale in your life. And that's selling yourself in the belief in your own possibility. You have to believe that you can do it. Have to be honest. Like Debra said, honesty is so important, because anything you say will just come right back at you. You have to be honest to be a successful salesperson. You can't sell people snake oil, and you have to believe in what you're selling, and it's going to show through. People will see right through you if you're not being honest, and people will see right through you if you don't have that self-confidence. So self-confidence and honesty would probably be the most important traits in a successful salesperson. And if you're going to sell, you just got to look at yourself like, I don't know, go through a course. I would say because we all struggle with insecurities, and you just got to rid themselves to take it to the next level in your career in anything, but particularly in sales. So just do some self-talk, like go through a course, like whatever you need, therapy, just do what you need to do to get rid of those insecurities, and you will shine. But self-confidence and honesty are the two most important traits in sales.
Love that. Thank you. Denise.
I agree definitely with the authenticity was what I was going to say, just being authentic to who you are, sharing your gifts, showing up in value. And when I believe you're passionate about what you do and you have that confidence, that self-confidence in your product or service, it's a lot easier to show up authentically. And do not compare yourself to others. And in a world of female entrepreneurs and realtors, eliminating insecurities is a tall order, especially when we're, seeing all the things that everyone else is doing. And so, yeah, it's just kind of like having that belief in yourself and that conviction of what you have and what you have to share and what you have to give, and do not keep your gift to yourself. Like we were talking about before, I just, showing up and being authentic and giving your gift and that value that you have. So
yeah, and a lot of entrepreneurs, I'm going to say females because that's who I work with, hesitate to do that. It's like they want a script, they want that template, like this is what you do on a sales call. And I've probably been inundated with courses and people telling me, I've worked with different coaches, not a sales coach per se, but business coaches, business strategists that say, okay, on your sales call, this is what you do. And they always talk about letting them tell the story. And like, for me, I'm a type of person that's like, pull the Band-Aid off, let's get down to it. I'm really don't want to listen to their story. And that kind of puts a blocker on it. So how would you approach that? Like if somebody was just learning sales, or they were mastering sales, or they felt that sales was their, was the thing that's blocking them from getting clients because they weren't sure how to authentically show up as themselves because they have all these things in their head. They've taken all these courses and they're like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. So who would like to answer that one?
I think I'll take a stab at this. That's why I think it really starts with your product knowledge. So you have to just rid yourself of what you learn, forget all the scripts, and just learn your product that you are selling and presenting to people in and out. Be able to answer all their questions, know why it benefits them, why somebody should buy it. And I'm a firm believer to go to the next step. You should probably buy the product, that be an owner of whatever it is you're selling. You should probably have purchased it and have used it yourself first. That's always a tip. You need to be a customer, but you need to know your product so you can answer all those questions. And people who just want to rely on a script, that comes back to just a lack of product knowledge. They're not comfortable with answering all the questions that could arise, and anything can get thrown at you, but you should be able to answer any question. So that will, when you have that product knowledge, that will eliminate the need for a script, because you'll just be able to just speak from your own experience as a customer or just as an expert.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great viewpoint.
I'm going to jump right behind her and say, Danielle, I love that. You've got to know what you're selling.
Yes.
You got to know what you're sharing. And then you've got to be willing to, I'll take a little dive on that one. You've got to be willing to, if you don't know the answer, you've got to be willing to say, you know what? Don't know, but I'll get back with you. And so that starts that customer service, serving support that we all know has got to be top notch. The next thing on me that comes, Danielle, right behind you, is sharing, knowing your product. But then you've also got to ask some great questions and listen. And you've got to listen to what that customer needs and wants, and what the barriers may be from them saying yes to you. And then the last part of that, and where I find when I work with my clients, you've got to be willing to ask for the sale. You've got to be willing to say, are you ready to buy today? Is today your day? So oftentimes we get to that point and we hum-ho around that point, saying, well, they didn't say, and I don't know. I'm like, did you ask? Did you ask them to join your group? Did you ask them to buy the house? Did you ask them, if they were ready to say yes? And so all of those things combined together, to me, then tied up with a bow and learn each time. I've been doing it a long time, and I've got something new to learn every day. There'll be a situation or a message, and I'm like, I could have handled that a little different. I could have answered that a little bit. Next time I'm going to do this. And so always continuing, being willing to be coachable and learn is huge in my book.
And yeah, I'm going to follow right behind Debra with one more thing. And just reminded me, yes, that's a great point. And then not only asking for the sale, be ready to ask too. If you sense that hesitation before they get to know, because that's a lot of times a blocker, you can't push people too far. So before you get that rejection, what I like to do is just, I can sense it. You can sense the body language. You can just sense the hesitation. I just come in with a question and I want to know, this is just something I'd say, can you tell me your hesitations about the product or making a purchase today? I just will I'll preempt the rejection by just asking them a question, throwing it back in their court so I can answer a lot of the questions because they may have misconceptions. They may not be knowledgeable enough. And a lot of people just don't like to talk, really, believe it or not. Like, that's hard for us as salespeople to know. A lot of people just don't want to talk and they're just hesitant and they won't ask the questions that they have. So I'll just get it out of them. I'll just ask them, tell me what your hesitations are. I can see you're a little hesitant about this. Just tell me why are you hesitant? What are your doubts? Like, what are your questions about this? So I just ask them a question to preempt the rejection because I can sense it coming and I want to make sure they know everything about it before they say no. So a lot of times I end up with a sale because I answered a question because I asked them a question before they said no.
Yeah, that's a great approach. Thank you. Denise.
So I approach this a little bit differently just because I am working with entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs never wanted to ever be in sales. And the idea of them having to be outgoing and talk about their stuff and, ask for the sale is super stressful and resistant to them. They're just like, no, I just love what I do. And I just don't people want it. So I work with them a lot on building that framework. So the sale becomes super, super easy. So obviously we work a lot on mindset, like what's your mindset around selling? And when you kind of can acknowledge that, that's really going to help selling. Also, when we know the purpose of our business, the purpose and the why of our business, it helps that process. It helps us kind of feel really confident about, okay, well, I'm going to share my gift because I have a really strong why. The next thing that I work on with them is to have a vision. Like, what's your vision in your business? Where you want to get to and your goals, and be really strategic and clear on that. And then the next thing, which was one of the most important, is to have clarity on who your ideal client is, clarity on what your offers are, really super clear. And that's knowing your product, right? Like knowing exactly what that transformation is that your client wants to create and make and achieve. What are the results that they want? That's that product piece, right? Being really knowledgeable and knowing exactly what they need and what they want from you. And then next is like having a really good strategy. So what's my strategy? Where am I out? Where am I going? How am I being visible? Getting out there, right? Like talking about my stuff. And so when we have a really good strategy and
we lost her.
Lose her?
We lost her. I saw her freeze. Okay.
Yeah, and for a second, I was like, that commercial for the internet commercial. And so I'm like, okay, is that me? Okay. Or
You're back.
No, it wasn't me.
You're back.
You're back.
Welcome back.
Yay, Denise, you're back.
Oh, we don't have your volume. You have to connect to audio.
So go out and come back in and connect to your audio.
Me?
Or just,
there you are.
Yeah, there you go.
Right
There you
now.
go. Yay.
Okay.
You're on a roll.
Oh my gosh, I broke the Zoom.
Yeah. You were just so
You were
good
saying
at
something
shut
really
down.
good.
I was on a roll. I was talking with my hands. I got
Yeah.
You were.
You got it.
Can you tell us what I'm passionate about?
Uh-huh.
So anyway, what I was saying, I think, was the strategy piece. Like once you have your strategy and you know where your people are, finding your ideal clients and having them be attracted to you and exactly what you want and what you're selling is easier. And so that sales call doesn't have to be salesy or so difficult or so challenging, because that person's already there. Like they already know, they probably pretty convinced that they want to work with you. They just need to have that sales call. And and if it's not the time and it isn't working, then we just still create those raving fans. How am I still going to provide value for that person? Maybe they're not ready now, but guess what? They will be. I truly believe that if they're our ideal client. And then I totally agree with the asking and listening. I mean, that is like crucial to creating clarity, right? Like we need to know what our clients need from us, what they want from us. So my goal being to make that sales process be so much more effortless because we're doing our homework before it even gets to the sales time, if that makes sense. So
yeah, total sense. Thank
so
you.
yeah. So call to action. Don't forget your call to action, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You all of you kind of alluded to this, but I'd like to dive deeper into it because I know a lot of people who go on sales calls and they don't close the deal. So how do you handle objections from potential clients? And I know the two most common objections are, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, and we know that's the blanket lie. So what's the truth, and how do you handle those objections? We'll start with Danielle.
Okay, thank you. So this is something that I have gotten better with over the years as I've grown. And I will say it requires, if you're going to be, and I didn't realize this at first at the start of my career in sales, and I've done sales for the past over 15 years in various forms. I didn't realize this at the start, but now I know that it requires a great deal of emotional intelligence. So when somebody is telling you some very personal things, oh, they don't have the money, and that may not, as we both know, people make money and time for what they value. When I hear that, I just think I throw it back on myself instead of just immediately calling the person, becoming very confrontational or telling them no. I just say, okay, people make time and money for what they value. So if they don't see that they have money or time for what I'm offering, I haven't convinced them on why it's enough of a value. So I take that as a personal challenge to me. Okay, I just want to then create that conversation on why what I'm selling is important and the value of it, and just show the need, because people will always find the time and the money for what they value most. So you just, as a salesperson, have to take that challenge of, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, not now. That's on you. You didn't show them why what you're offering has the value. So you just ask those questions, ask those probing questions. A polite, emotionally intelligent way to come back to that is just start asking questions. I'm like, okay, I hear you say that you don't have the money, but may I ask, what other type of product like this that you may be spending money on already and don't realize that it's a waste, because my product is better and it's going to replace what it is you're wasting money on over here. So that would be kind of just a delicate way to handle that, but you run the risk of being rude or too. That's why salespeople get a bad name. Like, I want to be rude or too confrontational when somebody's telling you some very personal things, because from their standpoint, they're being honest, because they don't see the value in what you're offering. So they don't have the money for it, because I don't have money for snake oil either. You see what I'm saying? It's just, you have to show the value and the need.
That's so true. Thank you, Debra.
Excuse me. Yeah, Danielle, I love what you said, because preach by that too. If I didn't do my job to begin with, to really ask the great questions, as Denise said, and listen to those answers and be able to be clear on what really I'm offering and how I'm going to do it, then it could be a no. And sometimes it is a no for right now. Yeah. And I agree with you, Danielle. Sometimes salespeople just get this bad rap because they're like, they just hounded me till. And there's a fine line, I believe, in serving and supporting and keeping people in your pipeline and following up. And so I compare it sometimes, again, when I get those no's, we don't like them, but we get them.
Yeah.
Get those no's. I compare it to, I've got all the analogies. I live in the country, girls, to fishing. And when you fish, you got to keep throwing, you got to reel it in. You got to put new bait on, you got to throw it out, you got to reel it in. And that's the way I teach my coaching clients. I'm like, it's like fishing. You've got to throw your reel in so many times before you catch a fish. And sometimes it's the first, and sometimes it's taken 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. When you least expect it, somebody picks up the phone and says, I'm ready. I need to talk to you. But I always compare it. The no's, I've got to do my job. And then if I do get a no, and when I get a no, then I've got to make sure I've got a good process and a good pipeline to be able to keep them in my circle if they don't choose to fall off, So I've got to have that process in, but then I've got to keep going. And Denise, I love what you said. So solo entrepreneurs now are really my jam, because that we can get, by yourself in a home office, and it's doom and gloom before you ever picked up one phone or did one email,
Absolutely.
And so just continuing to take that action, to me, is where when I'm coaching, you've got to take that intentional, messy action to keep going, because if not, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Love
Yep.
that.
Yep. Consistency.
Yeah.
Word. So as far as objections, being in as a realtor, I mean, everyone knows how much it costs. So it's your objections are a little bit different, right? Like, and so I'm going to talk in two areas, because entrepreneurship is a little different as well when we're selling a service. But so again, providing value. I mean, just how am I consistently showing up and providing value and showing those people that they should work with me, because I am the person to, serve them best. And in real estate's a challenge, right? Because you've got you're 100% selling yourself. And so that really becomes that relationship, and that nurturing and showing up continually and consistently. And so when I coach my real estate clients, that's a lot of what we're doing is following up, showing up continually. How can I provide value on a regular basis? So the objections are a little bit different. There's all kinds of different objections, but a lot of times it's just that, that you weren't there. You weren't in their face for them when they were ready to buy or sell, to pick up the phone. So you just always have to be top of mind. And as far as when you have a service-based business and you're an entrepreneur, I'm again, really super clear on being super transparent with what my pricing is. We're on a call, how much I charge, so the money objection a lot of times isn't a thing. Because if I've done my job and I've shown my value and I've created an offer of exactly what my clients need, and I'm going to give them that result and give them that transformation, then they're coming to me, they're ready to buy. So a lot of times those objections can be eliminated if we do our homework at the beginning, and you don't even and if you're super clear on what you're offering, you get on a call with someone and they're already, where do I sign? So that's I believe that dealing with an objection can be done in the beginning of the process.
Before they even get on the sales call.
Exactly.
Yes. That's awesome. Did you want to add to that, Deborah? Did you have something else to share?
No, I was just saying, and those are the fun ones. Those are the days that when you get, they pick up the phone, or you get that email, or you, Lisa, as you talk about that money gets in the bank. I mean, like, those are the days entrepreneurs live for. You're like, yes, there is a God in the sky. Especially the ones that you
doing is finally.
That's right. Because I don't know about y'all, but I've fertilized quite a bit of my clients as well. I've planted the seed and I've watered and we've sunshined on them, but I've had to fertilize on them too. And so when they come to fruition and you see that and they call you back, I mean, it's just fun. Again, and as Danielle said, we got a bunch of salespeople on the phone today, on the call today, and we can talk about it all day long. Give me somebody to talk to, because I'm ready to plant the seed. I'm ready to do it. Let's just go for it. And it really is a big eye opener for me, because, and as we're on today, you mean everybody doesn't like to do this? I don't get it. I mean, my girls in my office, I teach them calling methods, and they're like, we have a cowbell that we ring in here when we get something, and they're like, it works. If we call them back and say, are you out? It works. I'm like, it does. I mean, let's just do it. Those are fun days.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a joy to be able to sign on and to work with your ideal client, your best client. I mean, the fulfillment, it's not even about the money. It's just knowing that you can help them, that you can give them the results, that they need, and it's life-changing. And it's a beautiful concept. I always see it every time I make a sale. I see rainbows and sunshine and walking on clouds. That's my vision and I get up and do my happy dance. It's like, woohoo. And it doesn't even matter the dollar amount of the sales. I mean, in insurance, we sell all kinds of things. In my coaching business, there's a few different packages, and it doesn't matter what the amount of the sale is. It's just the joy of, yes, they said yes to themselves. They're investing in themselves. And it's such a beautiful way to take care of ourselves, and it's funny because entrepreneurs always come in, like everyone's always talking, make multi 6-7 figures and have all this money by being an entrepreneur, walk away from your 9-to-5 and do this and do that. But no one tells them that they have to, market and sell and do all the tech stuff.
You do the trash cans.
Yeah, and everything else. You're doing all
of
those.
To fertilize and plant.
That's right. Get my fingers dirty.
Yeah, who gave the soulpreneur that laundry list? And and everyone starts off as a soulpreneur. It takes time to build a team, and it doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of things that we see online especially are misleading, thinking, I made 6 or 7 figures overnight. No, you didn't.
No.
Let's hear the backstory. Let's hear the years of tears and the days that you cried yourself to sleep and all that good stuff. But that's another podcast, right?
Yeah.
For another time.
But that is a true one. That I agree with you.
You'll never work as hard for anybody else as you have to work for yourself.
Yeah,
Danielle.
100%. 100%. So how do you ladies prioritize your sales activities and manage your time effectively so sales isn't consuming your entire schedule? And we'll go with Denise first.
Oh, okay. And it's so funny that, that's basically what I coach my clients. It's, I have the daily 7 success strategies, and how is it that you show up every day? I'm really big on recognizing working on our business and versus working in our business being when we're making money, and really being clear and identifying the best strategies for you when you're working on your business. So, and we have to work on our business every single day, on business being marketing, business development, client attraction, all of those activities. So I'm really a strong proponent of doing what I call a CEO meeting every day, and really focusing on, not every day, sorry, at the beginning of the week. How am I planning out my week? What are the tasks and activities that I need to do? What was successful last week? And how am I going to do better this week if I need to? And so we need to show up and be on our agenda every day. And then the other steps of our daily tasks are, when I'm showing up, am I creating value for my clients? Am I showing up in service? Am I being helpful? How am I making my clients feel? How am I getting visible, being the expert? Where am I out there? Where am I talking about my thing? And that can look so many different ways, right? And then how am I connecting with my clients? And then how am I building raving fans? And so the big part of all of that is having that strategy that that is drawing in and attracting in your clients. And then for me, it goes back to just building that really strong framework of your business where you have clarity, you have your vision, your why, so that you can focus on the things that are important, and you can be in your zone of genius the most, which is why you do what you do, right? Like, you don't want to be working on your business all the time. You want to be working in your business. So how do I maximize my time so that I'm working in my business, doing the thing that I love, that I can do you know,
Mhm.
with my eyes closed, how, you know, so yeah, it's really figuring out that best strategy and where your people are and how you're going to be drawing them in and attracting them. So hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you. Deborah, how about you?
So
How do
good.
you
So good,
prioritize
Denise. Yeah.
yourself?
You know, when I'm coaching solo entrepreneurs, Denise, you nailed it. I mean, you know, we're working on our business or in our business. And us oftentimes as a solo entrepreneur and, you know, you're in your business, you are in the thick of it and you cannot see. Who is it? Les Brown that says you can't see the picture when you're in the frame, you know, and that's where people are headed. And so I feel like, well, you know, at the top of the list every day, you've got to find some revenue generating activities. Because so oftentimes when you look back on your day, you're like, well, I was going to do this. It's the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you know, all over yourself. I was going to make the phone calls. I was going to start the email sequence. I was going to pick up the phone and call somebody. I was even going to go to the chamber meeting. And what happened? I'm sitting here now and it's 5 o'clock and I'm still in the thick of it. And so I just challenge my people to always look at least 3 a day. You've got to have some revenue generating activities, intentional ones. It's not working on the email sequence and then making it perfect and crossing another I and finding another picture and it's like writing the email, proofing it, doing it, draft and get it out the door, done over perfect any day of the week. And so I just always challenge my people, what revenue generating actions, what revenue generating activities have you done today?
Yeah.
Not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. Let's call it. It's calling a spade a spade. Can you work on it? Are you working on it? Or are you trying to work on it? Because until I can get them in that mode, nothing's going to move. Nothing's going to move. So that's it.
100% agree. Thank you. Danielle.
Yes, I think this is why I have not given up my day job, the corporate job just yet, because I don't want to ever get into that space where I'm panicked. I'm looking, okay, what am I doing to earn that revenue today? Like, whoa, I had a bad day. So what's going on? Like the sky is falling. I don't want to ever get to that point. And I don't know, I'll assess as the years and I get just too busy to maintain everything like I'm doing now. I'll assess like what goes, or maybe just transition, as I'll probably have to do here soon, transition to part-time at the corporate job. And I think that falls into, I would say most entrepreneurs and salespeople, I would always recommend when you start it, don't go all in like always have something to fall back on. So whether that means a sales position that comes with a base salary or just having something part-time while you grow that business, while you grow your sales career, have something to fall back on, because getting into that space where it's just all or nothing, you're 100% commission, or you're just, if you don't make a sale, or if you don't, your business doesn't go well that day, like you don't eat, try not to get into that position, because that's desperation is how, I think that's why sales sometimes gets a bad name, because it has led some people to desperation. And we all know desperate people do sometimes like interesting things, let's put it at that. And then those things give salespeople a bad name. So try not to get yourself, don't back yourself into that corner. Like Debra, I would say just leverage your income, like leverage your income streams, whether that be having multiple businesses or having that day job like myself and the business, like something you can fall back on. So you're not just in a space where you're so desperate and you can't eat if you don't make a sale.
Yeah, that is so true. And I know a lot of times people will show up on sales call. You can just read their energy and they're like, I need this sale. I need it. And coming from a place of need doesn't get the sale.
No, it gets you the desperation.
Yes. And it's amazing how our body language can convey all of that. So, well, it's been amazing listening to all of you, share your expertise on sales. I so appreciate you being here. And I know you all have mentioned your business, your service, your products, your things. So share your elevator pitch, and we'll start with Debra.
Are y'all there?
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying everybody was everybody was moving a little slow. And tell me what I'm doing. You were cutting out during that time, Lisa.
Internet connections.
Yay.
Share your elevator pitch with us.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, elevator pitch. I go into it. I'm Debra Wood, and I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur, a wife of 40 years. I've got 2 grown daughters, and my latest gig is being a go-go. So I'm really having fun with that. And she is 17 months old and lives right across the pasture from me. So life is really different at this time as it was 30 years ago as an entrepreneur. But right now, speaker and training and coaching, solo entrepreneurs is really my jam. I love paving the path and holding the space for people because I've done it not once, not twice, not 3, but I'm working on the 4th time of building multi-figure businesses. And so I just adore somebody coming and really being coachable and really taking and making it their own. Lisa, you alluded to it just a few minutes ago. You said, people want, and Danielle, you did too, said they just want a sales script. They're just like, give me something in a box. It's like a magic pill and I'll take it and this will all work, right? And I'm going, it doesn't work that way at all. We take your strengths. We look at you. We look at things that you'd like to do, marketing strategies that feel good to you. And I'm going to stretch you outside that comfort zone. And we're going to get the first sale. We're going to level you up to the next business, whatever it may be. But right now, that's where I am in life. And I've got a couple of things that I also do around here. I do promotional products. That's what I started here. And so anything that can put your name on it, we do that here from this office as well. And so that's fun too. And so the two kind of go hand in hand together, but I have a good time, being in rhythm and flow every single day, adding value to people, starting with myself is where I like to be every day. So thanks for letting me share today. It's been fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Danielle.
Hi. So once again, thank you to you, Lisa, for organizing this, for having us all here today. And like I said at the beginning, I'm a speaker, writer, and presenter. And as we all know, I think on this panel, the millionaire secret is 6 streams of income. So I do have my hat. I'm probably up to 4 streams right now, but I have a day job. My main streams, the rivers, are the day job and my speaking business. I'm also just partly affiliated with 2 other businesses that I don't market or pitch. It's just you find me if you're looking for that particular service, and that's how I will always do those particular businesses. And yes, I'm a speaker, writer, and presenter. And if anybody wants to know more about me or has any questions, go to my website, Danielle, www.daniellebrazant.com, BRAZANT. And I think you'll have links when you air this for everybody. So go to my website, and there you can also purchase my book. I self-published my book about my whole life story and how I came to this in 2018.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Denise.
Danielle, that's awesome. I am Denise Perkins, and I help female entrepreneurs master their daily life so that they can take their business to the next level. I love coaching female entrepreneurs because I've been one for many, many years. And a lot of my clients are in it and making some money, but they just, like I said, ready to take it to the next level. So I work real closely with them to build a strategy that works for them, because there's so many different ideas and ways to do things. So by building that strategic framework that I talked about earlier with our purpose, our why, our clarity, the strategy, and most importantly, the support of amazing women and people like you all, it's like we couldn't do it alone, that's for sure. So find your tribe, find your people, because if being an entrepreneur can be a lonely existence. So so I just love the energy of learning about new businesses. And so that's what gets me going. You can find me at my Facebook group. I do live.
You're freezing.
You froze again. Now we lost your volume.
So the joys of internet connection. Like Zoom has to misbehave.
No, nobody can hear what I'm saying again.
Now we can.
Now we can.
Now you're good.
Go. Okay, go. Gosh, I love it. It's so funny. Okay, so I don't know, Facebook group. That's where did anyone hear that?
No.
Okay.
No, we lost you at you could reach me
You can reach me at. Now you'll never know. Anyway,
But
it's part of my allures that I'll never.
Yeah, you left us on the edge of our seats, and now we're all
I know, right? It's so good. I have a Facebook group, a free Facebook group where I do live trainings on all of these topics. And it's Passion to Profit, the Daily 7 is the Facebook group. Denise Cugini Perkins, because my maiden name is of course still in there. But I think you'll find me selling and marketing coach. And I love learning about female entrepreneurs and their businesses. I get so excited, and it obviously is my passion. So and I currently have one-on-one coaching sessions to help you build a specific strategy for you and your business.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for being here. And for those listening, you've just gotten a sneak peek.
So much.
What's that?
I said, thank you so much for having us.
Oh yeah, my pleasure. I'm just so happy to showcase your expertise with the audience. And for those who don't know anything about me, I'll do my little elevator pitch. I'm a wealth activator, independent insurance broker. I've been in the insurance and finance industry since 1987. Yes, I'm that old, but I help high earner female entrepreneurs, professionals, coach consultants take a profit first. Implementing the money multiplier system is what makes you a millionaire. So today we've learned so many things about sales and closing the sales and just managing our time. And some of the key points, some of the key takeaways is fortune is in the follow-up, selling is serving, create raving fans, and referrals are our best friends. So if you're in the entrepreneur space tuning in, or you know someone who needs to listen to this, please share the video. Go and rate the show on your favorite host site, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. Give us a 5-star review, share this with your friends. And remember, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's what you do with it. Hey, thanks for tuning into the show. Give us a 5-star review and share it with your friends. Get ready to activate wealth. Be the next millionaire. With a simple adjustment of your finances using an energetically aligned money multiplier system, you get to build wealth by partnering with money. It's time to have fun with finances. Pick a date, the link is in the show notes, to book your wealth activation call where you will get the one solution to multiply your money. Remember, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's what you do with it.